Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be giving you my Scorpio December 2018 horoscope forecast. And yes, this does apply and pertain to the sun, moon, and ascendant. Anyway, people, first thing up is as far as December goes, the sun will be in Sagittarius from the 1st until the 21st. So the second house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, there could be a strong concentration of energy, focus, and attention on monetary matters, finances, income generated, resources, possessions, values, self-esteem, self-worth. And given that this is a Sagittarius energy, this could be done going about with a lot of ebullience, enthusiasm, exuberance, a lot of expansive energy, a lot of optimism, a lot of positivity too, but jocularity as well, and joviality. Really, but on the negative side, though, this could be done with a lot of foolhardy energy, a lot of over optimism, and a lot of tactless energy as well. So just be careful at this time that if you're dealing, with somebody you maybe you value, you work with, you generate money with, just or somebody that that's figures prominent in your possessions or your resources, that you're not overly tactless or blunt. I mean, it's okay to speak the veritable truth, and but at the same time to be just try to be more tactful and diplomatic if possible. Now, also too, this might shine the light, so to speak, on a Sagittarius possession. It could be some sporting item or some religious item, such as the Bible, or like I said, something with sports equipment or a sports related item, some kind of travel guide, a translation device, something that something Sagittarius related. Anyway, next thing up, the sun will be in Capricorn as far as December goes from the 21st until the 31st. So the third house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, there could be a strong concentration of energy, focus, and attention on communications, short journeys, siblings, cousins, neighbors, early education. It could be people that were prominent in your early education, assimilating information and disseminating it as well. And given that this is Capricorn energy, this could be done with a lot of consistency, but yet rigidity, intransigence. There might be a lot of intransigence in thinking, and really in what you're talking about at this time in your communications. Done also with a lot of seriousness, a lot of prudence, planning, and premeditation. If you're taking any short journeys, for example, they're apt to be done with a lot of plotting, a lot of planning prior to actually taking them. And also a lot of this energy could be done in a very orthodox, conventional, methodical manner. If there's something going on, say with transportation, like say your vehicle needs repairing, you're probably likely not going to go outside the box too much or try to do anything overly different in terms of trying to repair. You're probably going to stick with whatever it is, very conventional wisdom, and sticking with the true and the tried. But remember too, on the negative side, though, that Capricorn energy can be rather pessimistic and negative. So just try to guard against being overly negative or pessimistic in terms of your thinking, and really at this particular at this particular time. So and also in matters with your siblings, cousins, or neighbors at this time as well. So anyway, next thing up, there will be a new moon in Sagittarius on December 7th. So the second house is what will be emphasized and highlighted at this time. This could be a time where you may start or embark on a new Sagittarius money-making endeavor. This could be something connected with sports, with religion, philosophy, something with traveling, such as working as a travel agent or a pilot. This could also be a time where you may begin to be more upbeat and optimistic and enthusiastic in regards to generating your income and really feeling more positive about your self-worth and self-esteem, and doing things that are positive about it, such as not putting yourself down, doing things really where you really look more in a positive light, really about yourself, and perhaps this is what will figure prominently in how you feel about yourself, and not letting others really negative or derogatory opinions or remarks affect you as much, for example. So anyway, it could be a time where you may purchase a new Sagittarius item or possession. It could be something that could be sports related, such as sports equipment. It could be like a tennis racket or something with skiing, or basketball or football or hockey net. Anything that could be Sagittarius related, something religious or biblical. It could be something connected with traveling abroad, perhaps. It could be even just simply like some kind of travel guide, or also, too, this could be a new period of benevolence and philanthropy that may be connected with your possessions and your resources at this time as well. So those are some things to look at as far as that goes. So next thing up. There will be a full moon in Cancer on December 22nd, so the ninth house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time for Scorpio, you may become rather tired, exasperated, full, so to speak, had enough of a temperamental, moody, clingy, vulnerable, sensitive, overly needy. It could be an in-law, a grandchild, someone that you may know well at a religious congregation. It could be somebody that maybe you know well at a college, university. It could be a foreigner. This could be something too. This could also manifest perhaps in a culmination or completion of a Cancerian college education course. It could be something at this time, could be something like, for example, connected with culinary or restaurant work, something with home improvement, perhaps. It could be something connected with healing, or anything that could be Cancerian related. If there's something connected with something, if they have some course for even laundry management work and doing something with that, that could be a possibility as well. And it could also be something where another way this could manifest, it could be something that you might publish that could be Cancerian related. It could be something connected with real estate or home improvement, something connected with the home life and family, or it might just simply be something that you may have felt close to home with. Also, too, another way this could work out is that this could also, when you're talking about full moon astrology, it could often be about an unveiling or revelation of something. This could be about an unveiling or revelation of something that might threaten or impact your safety and security in a foreign land, perhaps, or even higher education. You wonder, well, how could that, how would that work with higher education? Well, I mean, for example, if you found out, like, say, if you had some kind of government-related fund or something that was going to be, you were going to get some kind of support for your higher education, and something happened where you weren't going to get it anymore. That's one example. And also, I mean, some isolated cases could be about a family member or someone you're close to home with might be in some kind of might be in trouble with the law, and there might be some unveiling or revelation about that. An overwhelming, powerful, emotional response to criticism and ridicule. It could be from an in-law, a grandchild, someone you know at a college, university, or a religious congregation, or even a foreigner. Anyway, next thing up. Mercury will be in Scorpio as far as December goes, from the 1st until the 12th. So the first house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this time, well, you may come across as more loquacious and talkative than usual. Scorpio is usually rather reticent, their outward demeanor is very quiet, and especially if Scorpio is rising. Now, it could be also, too, you find yourself talking more extensively about Scorpio-related subjects, such as the astrology, the occult, supernatural, forensics, investigation, just things that are about getting to the bottom of things, deep research. This could also be psychology, things of a psychological nature. You might find yourself talking more about Scorpio new beginnings and mentally planning for them at this particular point in time, whether it might be starting to become an astrologer, or doing another thing with the occult, supernatural, or working with psychology or psychiatry, starting something connected with investigation. Hold on a moment, people. All right, well, and anyway, also too, as I've talked about in previous videos, that Mercury can be more than just be about communication. It could also be about siblings, and this could be a time perhaps where Scorpio siblings, they could be Scorpio sun, moon, or ascendant people, or simply ones that embody Scorpio-like characteristics, may figure prominently in your outlook. It could be in new beginnings, and maybe even vitality and energy as well at this time. And whether it's good or whether it's bad, I mean, a lot of it can depend on the aspects that are made. I mean, if this is making, say, an adverse aspect to your Mars or your Sun, for example, they might be taking a toll, and it might be somewhat taxing on your energy. Now, also too, that Mercury can also be connected with the hands and the arms. This could be something where you may have, in some cases, because you're talking about the first house in the physical body, and especially if this is actually the first house in one's natal chart that this is hitting, this could be something where you might run into some difficulty with the hands or or something with the arms, doing something Scorpio related, such as some kind of mechanical work, or doing some kind of recycling or rebuilding, something connected with transformation at this time. And again, this could be another thing that could be where the aspects can play a role. Let's say if this is making an adverse aspect, say to your natal Uranus, this could be something with nerves as well. I have actually Mercury square my Uranus in my natal chart. My Uranus makes a very tight conjunction to my 6th house cusp of physical health. This could be, and I have irrevocable nerve damage, and I have it in my hands as well and in my arms. So anyway, and another thing about this too, this could be as far as, I mean, you could be really more probing and have more probing, incisive, deep, provocative conversations with those from your early childhood. Next thing up. Mercury will be in Sagittarius as far as December goes, from the 12th until the 31st. So the second house is what will be emphasized and highlighted at this time, where your mind may be dominated at this time by making money, but thinking very enthusiastically, positively, and exuberantly about this. Now, it could also manifest perhaps, and again, as I've talked about before, and I just talked about a little bit ago, is that Mercury can also be about siblings. So this could be about perhaps Sagittarius siblings. They could be Sagittarius sun, moon, or ascendant people, or simply ones that embody Sagittarius-like characteristics, might figure more prominently in your values, your self-worth, and your self-esteem at this time. Now, you might find yourself talking more perhaps about sports, religion, philosophy, and this could be in foreigners, and even these could be things that you're very strongly value at this time, these kind of conversations. Now, this could also manifest perhaps in philosophical discussions with people that you may make money with in generating income, and you might even be thinking more philosophically in terms of making money, in ways you can do this, and expanding horizons as far as that goes. Now, also too, since Mercury is connected with the hands, this could be something where you could be doing something in terms of dexterity with the hands, and something Sagittarius related. Could be maybe working on sports cars at this time. Well, I guess it's a possibility anyway for some. So anyway, next thing up. Venus will be in Scorpio the majority of the month, so the first house is what's going to be emphasized and highlighted. Now, at this time for Scorpio, you may be really focusing on being trying to be more attractive, looking more sexy and provocative and mysterious than usual, which might be hard to do, but you find a way maybe to be even more so at this time than usual. You might find yourself too perhaps coming into more money. It could be something through something Scorpio related. It could be doing something, some kind of deep research or some kind of investigation, doing something undercover. It could also be something with the astrology, the occult supernatural, doing psychology work. This could also be valuing going beyond subterfuge and superficiality, and this could be seen perhaps by others on a first impression. Also, too, at this time, Scorpio, guard against perhaps overly rich, dark foods at this time. Really, I mean, you might have a little more of a sweet tooth at this time, and really, especially the sweets. This could be a little bit, and I mean, you're talking about Venus, about being about food, and you really have to guard against this at this time because, of course, it could be a little more propensity to gain weight. I think when you're talking about Venus by the first house, especially if this is actually hitting one's ascendant and one's natal chart, because given that Venus can be connected with food, so that in that sense, it could be perhaps a little greater propensity to put on weight because of that, I believe. Now, although Jupiter is a lot stronger as far as that goes, but anyway. This could also manifest perhaps in Scorpio relationships figuring more prominently in your outlook on life. They could be Scorpio, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant people, or simply ones that embody Scorpio-like characteristics, and also about perhaps valuing very deep, what I consider non-superficial connection, perhaps from somebody from an early childhood, and also really expressing enjoyment of Scorpio like things, and people can see this, of course, very outwardly and blatantly, especially if this is actually hitting one's literal first house in one's natal chart. Anyway, next thing up, Mars will be in Pisces, so the fifth house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this time, Scorpio might show a lot of compassionate and self-sacrificing energy in connection with lovers and children at this time. This could also be where you might inject a lot of energy into some kind of like fantasy sports, such as playing fantasy football. Could even be playing some kind of simulated or hypothetical sports matchup online, perhaps. I mean, it could be going to like whatifsports.com and playing football teams against each other of the past. This could also be where you manifest, where you may become somewhat angry over duplicitous, deceptive, indolent, lethargic lover, someone you may have fun, amusement, or enjoyment with. It could be a person, too. In some cases, it might be a child. And also, you might find yourself fulfilling perhaps a sexual fantasy with someone that might be somewhat of a risk taker or a gambler. And this could also manifest perhaps in putting a lot of idealistic energy, perhaps into an attempt to increase personal popularity. But when you're talking about Mars and Pisces energy, this could also be about, lacking assertiveness and confrontational energy. So if there was something you needed to confront, say, a child about or a lover about, this could be, or it could be somebody that you share some kind of creative endeavor with, or some kind of fun, amusement, or enjoyment with. It might be more difficult at this time, and Pisces energy could be rather directionless. What I call it, you might find yourself swimming in different directions over fifth house matters, whether it's lovers or what have you. So that's something to look at as far as that goes. Anyway. Next thing up, Jupiter will be in Sagittarius at this time, so the second house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, one way this may manifest, perhaps as I've talked about previously, is that Jupiter can be rather paradoxical, could be strongly benign and benevolent, but it could also have a tendency to enlarge and expand. And in some cases, it may very well expand and enlarge foolhardy, self-righteous, over-optimistic, reckless energy in connection, say, with monetary matters, your resources, your possessions, really about your self-worth and self-esteem. You figure, well, how could that affect that? Well, I mean, as far as the over-optimism, or you might have an overinflated view maybe of how you actually, maybe to some degree, feel about yourself, and really maybe about ways in terms of what you're doing to make yourself feel better about yourself. Self-righteous energy could also often be about really just what you believe being right and no one else being right. And you may think, well, I'll do this, for example, to increase how I feel about myself and my self-esteem and self-worth, for example, or trying to generate income a certain way, or there might be other options to look at. So it's important to be very philosophical as far as this goes at this time. Hold on a moment, people. Sorry about that, I'm back. Anyway, well, another way this may manifest is that this could be very fortuitous for a Sagittarius ways in terms of making money and income. This could be something where it could be very fortunate, perhaps for generating income through sports, through some kind of religion, philosophy, working in publishing, some kind of travel field. Perhaps it could be doing something with exploration, something working as an interpreter or a translation, something that requires a lot of foreign travel. Now, also too, this could be a time where you show really a lot of philanthropy, perhaps, and benevolence in connection with your possessions, your resources, and also a lot of hope and optimism through really through just for as far as things of a monetary nature goes at this time, and also perhaps increasing a lot of jocular energy, a lot of jovial energy. It could be at the place where you make money, or maybe even with someone you value at this time. So anyway, next thing up. Saturn will be in Capricorn still, so the third house is what will be emphasized and highlighted at this time. Well, you might simply find at this time, Scorpio, where you may be having some restrictions and limitations in terms of your transportation at this time. It could be also a time where you may find yourself taking care of a debilitated or sickly sibling, a cousin, a neighbor. It could be somebody that you knew well in your early education. It could be something Capricorn related, such as something with the knees, the bones, or the joints. And it could be making you feel somewhat despondent and melancholy at this time. And also, too, guard against really becoming overly, despondent or negative or pessimistic in your thinking at this time. This could be, in some cases, people might become, feel somewhat depressive at this time. It doesn't necessarily mean they're going to succumb to depression, but they might, appear, or, as far as the thinking goes, they might, their mindset might be somewhat, be feeling somewhat melancholy at this particular time. And also, too, you might feel that there's more of a serious responsibility to your communications and things connected with transportation. It could be over as far as fixing a vehicle, for example, and having to do things in relation to short journeys that need to be done. It could be doing errands for somebody. And anyway. And this is really about maybe taking a lot of responsibilities for third house related matters and people. It could be with cousins, with neighbors, and just anything that could be third house related at this time. So anyway, and also maybe perhaps older people might be figuring in more as far as more prominently in terms of your communications at this time, and as far as really just assimilating information in general. So anyway, next thing up, Uranus will be in Aries, so the sixth house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, well, you may find yourself at this time where you may have a yeah, sometimes this could manifest in an enigmatic illness. It could be something, in some cases, nerve-related. As I've stated previously, I have Uranus almost exactly conjunct my sixth house cusp in my natal chart, and I have irrevocable nerve damage. Uranus can be connected with nerves. This could also be about perhaps very unpredictable, volatile behavior, maybe from someone prominent in your daily routine. It could be someone you render service, some kind of service to, or an aunt or an uncle, somebody at your place of employment. You might find yourself where your daily routine, there's something very erratic and sporadic or unusual about it. I can't really elaborate as far as mine goes, but I do have something, even though as many of you may know, I'm pretty consistent with my daily routine. Having Taurus rising figures prominently in that, but there are some unusual things regarding my daily routine. And again, I have Uranus almost exactly conjunct my sixth house cusp in my natal chart. Now, anyway, could also be, if you have any pets, you might be seeing some kind of unusual behavior from them at this time. You may find yourself doing something Uranus-like. That as far as work and employment goes, it could be something with computers, electronics, aerospace, astronomy, astrology, innovation, and being in areas, this could be very innovative, very pioneering energy and ideas that might come very abruptly as well. So anyway, next thing up, Neptune will be in Pisces still, so the fifth house is what will be emphasized and highlighted at this time. Well, Scorpio, you might find at this time that lovers and children might be a little bit more duplicitous, deceptive than usual. You might find yourself at this time be very wary about deluding self in terms of things of a speculative nature, some kind of investment. Make sure you're seeing the fine print. Things, when you're talking about Neptune energy, of course, things may not always be as they seem, and there's really a strong propensity to overlook the details with Neptune. This could also be about, in some cases, the dissolving or dissipation of personal popularity. It could be a relationship with a child, with a lover. Sometimes too, it could be where a child or a lover may be succumbing to some kind of alcohol or recreational drug use. But at the same time, on a positive note, though, this could manifest in doing something Neptune related, such as something with poetry, dancing, photography, chemistry, the metaphysical, which includes astrology. It could be some kind of fictional or fantasy writing. Anything that could, or something with illusions, such as doing magic tricks, is something that could be a thing of it's connected with fun, amusement, enjoyment, or some kind of hobby at this particular time. So anyway, and as far, and really that is pretty much it as far as that goes. And also children and lovers, maybe people you might share some kind of creative endeavor with, might be a little bit somewhat more nebulous and unclear than usual at this time. Last but not least, Pluto will be in Capricorn still, so the third house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. Now, I know a lot of you don't want me to say the dreaded D word, but you know I'm going to anyway. Some cases, this could manifest in the actual literal death of a sibling, a cousin, a neighbor, It could be someone that you may know well in short journeys. It could be somebody that you know, like a storekeeper that you frequent, that you go, or I should say, you go to frequently. This could be in some cases about the destruction of some kind of obliteration of maybe your communications to some degree. It might be a transformation in the way you communicate. In some cases, it could be some kind of voice, doing something as far as your voice. If there's something, maybe there's something surgical that could be done with it that might be changing, some surgery procedure that might somehow change the way you're talking for some reason. But these are in very isolated cases. I see. You might find yourself more embroiled in power struggles with siblings, with neighbors, with cousins at this time. Also guard, though, against possible obsessive or fixated or even manipulative thinking. Now, in some cases, this could manifest perhaps in maybe some cases stalkers, in the neighborhood perhaps, or some kind of criminal or nefarious activity going on in your particular area, the neighborhood you're in, perhaps. But this is very isolated, of course, and this is really, I mean, this is something that generally is not something that really to be overly concerned about. But these things, I believe, can happen in isolated cases. So anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for my Scorpio December 2018 horoscope forecast. Stay tuned next time where I'll be giving you my Sagittarius December 2018 horoscope forecast. Two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone, because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.